Bye! Oh, big boy, big boy. So a little bit over a year ago, I signed up for this website called Trusted House Sitters. Essentially what it is a website that connects people that are looking for someone to care for their house and animal to people that are looking for free accommodation in exchange for doing simple tasks or pet care. I've done about 15 house sits so far, and I just wanted to make a video talking about if I think it's worth the subscription or not. So to be clear, I am on this website as a sitter. I am not using this to get sitters in my home, which is also a paid service. I am the one caring for the dogs in exchange for free accommodation. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about what I like from Trusted House Sitters and using the website and the experiences, and some stuff that I think could be improved or might make it not worth it for you. So essentially how it works is you set up a profile. I kind of like to say it's similar to a dating app. You are basically selling yourself with your pictures, description, any experience with house or animals that you have. And then someone that's looking for someone to care for their house or animals while they're away will have theirs. They will have it based on the specific time they need, but they'll also have just the generic about themselves as well. And these people are looking for someone that they feel will do a good job, and you are looking for something that fits your time requirements, but also something that you would want to do. Not every single house sit posted has been one that has appealed to me, depending on the area, the amount of animals, or just the vibe you get from the people, if that makes sense. So you're just playing this kind of like dating game. You're just trying to find a good match. And as a sitter, once you find something that looks good, you basically send an application. And the application through this site is just a message saying that, hey, I want to sit for you. Here's a little about me. Maybe look through my profile. If you want to talk, let me know. On the other end, they can receive, I believe, up to 5 applications before the website forces them to go through them and either decline and keep accepting new applications or choose one from the applications that they've already received. Originally, I signed up for this website to help me with travel costs. I'm not exaggerating when I say I've been able to save thousands, especially being able to sit in places that are very expensive to find hotels or hostels for. For example, I'm currently in Australia. I'm currently in Melbourne, and the cheapest hostel, and when I say hostel, I mean a 12-bed shared dorm, the shared bathroom. Probably the cheapest one I can find is $40 Australian a night, which is gonna be like a little less than 30 US. But paying that for like a week or a month, like that money adds up. I feel like in Australia alone, I've had about 3 months of free rent or free accommodation through using the site. So it's definitely been worth it for me, and it has definitely helped me travel cheaper for longer. Okay, this is so obvious, but the main pro I'm going to talk about is being able to be with animals while you're traveling. I just love dogs, and I think dog walking is seriously a perfect way to get to know a neighborhood in an area. They're benefiting from it. They're getting their exercise. You're benefiting from it, from not having to be alone, having a companion. It's like a little bit more fun than just walking around by yourself. Everyone wins, right? And that's really the whole point of this exchange. You need to like animals, and you need to be okay with caring for them in exchange for this accommodation. Don't expect just to go to someone's house, to stay there for free, and to do nothing and to not care for their animals. That's not fair to the animals or the people. So I think if you love animals, okay with doing a little bit of work, going on some walks, giving dogs their medication, I think this is a great option. If you don't like animals so much, don't really want any work or responsibility while you're traveling, probably not for you, and maybe better just to spend more money, get a hostel, get a hotel, do whatever you want to do, no responsibilities, and that's totally fine. But just don't waste your money for the subscription and don't waste people's time. That's it. Another good thing about staying in a house sit when you're traveling like this is that you get a more local experience. Instead of being in a hotel or a hostel where it's kind of always about the same, you get to be in usually more of a neighborhood, more of a rural area, which I found so many cute places that I otherwise wouldn't have been able to find because of that. And I just love a homey feel. I just love being able to like temporarily have a home and like all of the comforts that come with it. To me, that just beats being in a hotel any day. But everyone is different, so it's a way of traveling that makes it feel more homey. I think the format of trying to find the house sits is very self-explanatory and very easy. However, something I do find, if you are in a big city, like for example, I'm in Melbourne right now, it can be so difficult to find a house sit because there's a lot of people trying to do it and they go fast. And what I've found is if you're not one of the first 2 people to send a message, usually you won't get it. Because if someone gets a bunch of messages, but one of the first messages is someone that fits perfectly, they're not going to keep going and keep reading those applications. So if you're using a site like this, you need to spend a lot of time looking for new applications so you're able to get one. Something else I really do not like about this site is its notification feature. In theory, what a good idea to have notifications set up for when there is a new result for a saved search, because you can save places that you're interested in going and it will give you a notification. These notifications are sent through email, but what I have noticed is that when I have multiple places saved, it will just spam me with, hey, new result, new result, new result. But when I go back to the app and check all of the places I have, there's nothing new. It feels like just a spam notification to get you to come back and use the app. But I wish it was more direct. Like, for example, give me the notification and show me what's new. Like, show me the new listing with that notification. Put a link to that listing. It just says new result. For where? We don't know. You can have multiple places listed. For when? We don't know. I just really think that they could improve on that feature, because every time that there is something new, I don't get a notification. But when I do get a notification, there's nothing new. It's really frustrating, honestly, but like, what can I do about it? Nothing. I think the hardest part about starting this for me, and what people need to take into consideration, is that when you create a new profile, you will have no reviews through the site. You might have your references, but you don't have any confirmed through the site. So people might be a little bit more hesitant to select you, just because you can't always trust people. And from the other side of that, I would feel almost the same. Letting someone stay in my house, be around my pet family, I would want to make sure that that was a good person, you know? So don't expect to be in a big city where there's lots of competition, to create a new profile with no references and to be chosen immediately. What I did before traveling, because I'm from a smaller town, I started pet sitting there to get a few reviews first, so that when I started traveling, I already had those on there and people could see, okay, like, it looks like she's clean, it looks like she did a good job with our dogs. maybe we should pick her. It's kind of like that with anything if you don't have experience. But the only way to deal with that, if you really want to do something like this, is just make sure your profile is really good, your pictures are clear, you look friendly. Like when you send out applications, you just need to make sure you stand out. And then I promise, once you finally get those first few sits, it just gets easier and easier. Of course, if you're in a big city, like I said, it's always gonna be a little bit hard, there's more competition, but much easier compared to if you had no reviews. Trusted House Sitters is not a free service. I believe there are a few different kinds of subscription. I just chose the cheapest option, so I cannot speak for the ones with more benefits. I'll put them here. But let's say it's gonna be around $100 per year. And at first, paying $100 for a service that you don't know if you're gonna like or if it's gonna work for you is a bit daunting, I'll admit. I tried really hard to find similar services that were free or use Facebook groups, but these are just already way too saturated and I just did not have any luck with it. I'm not saying it's not possible to do this for free. I'm just saying I gave up and was willing to take the chance pay $100 to see if it would work or not. It might be a little bit hard at first when you're new to the platform, but if you get a sit that's a week long, maybe even a few days long, if you compare that to what you would be paying in cost of accommodation, you already break even. So for me, I think that yearly subscription cost is so worth what I get at the end. I think with all this money that they're making, they could hire someone to make the website better. It's easy to navigate. It's just, there's some things that bug me a little bit and just some things that just could be improved overall. And I think that's not so much to ask, is to have a clean and functioning design. For example, something I really wish that they would add would be the ability to put specific dates on a saved search. So for example, I could put, I am interested in going to Singapore. So I have Singapore saved. But if I want to go to Singapore, let's say sometime between January and March, and I can't go other days, I want to see sits within this time frame. You can't do that. You can just save a place. But if that place has too many results, you have to like go through, or just completely retype it again, which is easy enough to do. I understand, it's easy enough to do, but I feel like it's not that hard to fix as someone who doesn't know anything about how to actually fix it. Maybe I shouldn't say that, but I feel like they're making enough money to hire someone to do it. Tell me if I'm wrong and that's like the most difficult thing to do, but you have two different ways of already doing it, just combine it. I don't know. There's just little stuff like that. I just wish the website was a little better, but it's not hard. Like it's good enough and I've not had a huge problem with it. So if you've been debating using this site or service or looking for a way to travel more cheaply, I hope this gave you a little bit of insight. I think overall, I really enjoy using this site and I'm really happy that I signed up for it. I've had so many good experiences and I've gone to so many places I would have never gone otherwise. So I'm really grateful for it and I'll keep paying the subscription unless Trusted House Sitters wants to sponsor me or something. I'm not gonna be mad about it. If you made it this far or found this video helpful, please consider pushing some buttons down below. Give it a like, a subscribe, put something in the comments. Feel free to ask me any questions. It just really helps out my algorithm, helps me reach more people. And I usually put a lot of work into these videos and it just means a lot to me. So I really appreciate it. Thank you. Alrighty, have a good day. See you in the next one.